My name is Kelly Walsh, and I'm an associate attorney at Scaringi Law. Today I'm continuing a series on how to get the most from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act on your personal income taxes. In the first video, I talked about knowing your deductions so that you can make sure that you get everything that you're entitled to. In the last video, I talked about reducing the expenses that you may no longer be able to itemize and deduct. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a way in which you can shift some of the deductions that you previously might have itemized to claim to something that you no longer have to itemize to claim. Now, a way in which you can shift something from an itemized deduction to an above-the-line deduction that you can claim while claiming the standard deduction amount is by switching to an HSA. That's a health savings account. Now, a health savings account is an instrument that allows you to set aside your own savings for your future medical expenses. It reduces your taxable income, so you don't have any tax on the contributions that you make. And typically those are made directly out of your payroll, so it's money that goes directly into this account that you never see. And so you're not tempted to spend that on your day-to-day expenses. When you use an account in order to pay your medical expenses, usually you have a sort of a debit card that you can use just to directly pay the medical bills at the office or over the phone or by writing down the card payment or the card number on your payment slip. And when you make that payment, you're essentially receiving a discount on the medical bills that you're paying and the amount of the income tax that you never had to pay on that money. For a lot of people, that may be around a 20% reduction in their medical bills, which is enormous in some cases. Now, some people might hear that you can deduct your health savings account contributions and think, so what? I've always been able to deduct my medical and dental expenses. What's the difference? Well, with medical and dental expenses, that deduction is subject to a threshold. In 2017, you had to pay at least 7.5% of your adjusted gross income on medical expenses before you can deduct $1 of it. And it's only $1 beyond that 7.5%. So if, for example, your adjusted gross income were $50,000, you would have to pay $3,750 just to meet that threshold. And it's only after you pay $3,751 on medical expenses that you can deduct that first dollar. In 2018, that threshold is actually increased to 10% of your adjusted gross income. So with the same example of $50,000 adjusted gross income, you now have to spend $5,000 on medical and dental expenses before you can deduct the first dollar at $5,001 of expenses. Now, at that point, you've probably already met your deductible or your out-of-pocket maximum, so the chances that you're going to be able to deduct medical expenses and dental expenses at all are a lot lower. Now, in addition to that, the medical and dental expense deduction was an itemized deduction. So in order to claim it at all, you have to itemize deductions on your taxes. In the first video, I already talked about how the standard exemption has increased, and now most people are not going to be itemizing their deductions because the number to beat is a lot higher. So it no longer makes a lot of sense to focus on something that is an itemized deduction. It makes sense to shift that to something you don't have to itemize to deduct. Now, health savings account contributions are not an itemized deduction. You can claim those as an above-the-line deduction in addition to claiming the standard deduction. Also, there's no threshold for health savings account contributions. So the first dollar that you contribute to your health savings account is $1 that you can deduct right away. Furthermore, you don't even actually have to spend those contributions on medical and dental expenses that year for them to be deductible from your income. You can set aside savings for future years, assuming that you're in good health right now and you may at some point in the future need to have this money set aside to cover a major expense. You can set aside that money right now, deduct it from your income, reduce your taxable income, and get a benefit for the future that you can pull this from your health savings account whenever you need it. If you have any tax questions or want help preparing your taxes, call Scaringi Law and schedule a consultation. I'll be glad to meet with you.